Good morning. It's the 5th of April 2023. Time is 10 to 8 in the morning a.m. I was should record last night here, and went through my case from the beginning, and that's what's happened. For 40 minutes, then I realized I have not the record on the camera, so it disappeared. It was nothing on it, of course. I don't know. I get this in the evening. I'm better to just now I have woke up and I'm a little bit tired, but I want to do some episode of this anyhow. So I'm gonna do the first episode now and explain a little bit what's happened in the past and what's happening since then, and the next episode, it's going to explain up to this date. I have to take this abroad to UN or EU court. So because in Sweden this is locked. I have this rewired also. Phone when I call at one place. This from this group I had Lennart Karlsson group. He answered and like that. I can't trust my email. I can't trust my phone that the right person receive my calls or emails. So this is little bit. I gotta go out from Sweden because this he says he was from Social Democrats, this Lennart Karlsson group, and he was a little bit angry when I told him I'm voted for a moderat in Sweden, and then this was 1998. So, and I did get okay. I started. Well, it was there was a girl, 1997. I met, and he has a crazy ex-boyfriend with the gang, and he had threatening her that if she didn't go back to him, he gonna break arms and legs on her 12-year-old little brother then. And so on, and had bragged about he had chasing away families to other girlfriends who have left him. And so on. I think it was a really crazy person, and I was with this girl. We became a couple, and things started to happen. And at her work, he bring a gang. There was 8 person. She worked as a waiter in a restaurant, and they came in 8 person there, and I talked to them to him. He was there, and he said he want money for she has lived with him in his apartment. He want the half of the rent and that, and he was because of this threat he had done. He had been in jail for it, and there was a restraint order, the meeting, or he has to couldn't go near her, but she had not signed that paper and sent it in to the government, so it wasn't valid, but he didn't know that. So he breaks that, and he breaks lots of everything around, and later on I have a burglar in my home, and he, in small word, he says it was he, and he's a fellow. The burglar acted strange. They stood outside and wait. Neighbor told me there was people here. They break your room, and they even go in my neighbor's room. This was in a hotel, and they say it was people waiting outside and like that, and so on. And at one time there has been a break between me and the girl. It was a very tense situation. So he phoned me, this guy, and says a very serious threat against people around me. So I phoned the cop then, because I have no chance to go to their place by myself. So I think, okay, I phoned the cops and asked them to place a marked police car outside that building, because he says the gang, so it was in the girlfriend's workplace, should go up in one address. So I get panicked there. So from the cops, hey, you have to sell. And he no, we shouldn't do that, he said, like a sissy. And I realized he didn't understand the seriousness in this. So I said to him, okay, I have a machine gun. I'm going to go there myself and take them one by one if you don't go there now. And then he says, oh, who do you want to shoot? Who do you want to shoot? And yeah, it was it's a threat of murder one people, rape and murder people. So, but afterwards, when I hang up, I give the cop my telephone number and that, and he says, afterward, I was a little shocked, a little bit embarrassed. I think in Sweden everything is well organized, and these people who do that crime, he says, is not free in the street. They are in mental institution. So I was a little bit embarrassed. That's quick, but I received the threat and then cut at once because I was too far away to run there. And the cop in Sweden, it was not much people. The cop could said, oh yes, it's nothing happening over here. It's very boring, and like that. So yeah. Anyhow, I think this was too hasty for me, a too quick reaction for me. But nothing happened, and so on. And several months after that, in this in close this near this time, this happened. Other things like this burglary, they broke in, and in a store next door when I buy my food and that. It come in 3 guys and said, "Where is he? Where is he? Where is he?" And I recognized one from this time. He was in the girlfriend's work. And where is he? Where is he? Where is he? They tried to frighten me. And I was tense. Okay, I think was this. I'm sober. I have nothing on me, and they could be armed, they can be knives, it could be everything. And there are 3 guys also. But they went out, and then I looked at the place. I saw the car they drive away with, and outside I saw this folie with heat on, a heat mark. They have probably smoking tablets or heroin or something. I think this is Yankees. But in the subway, for example, was the guy in the same area. Was a guy, a foreign guy. He looked at me. I looked at him. I think it's somebody I know. And he looked back, away, looked down, and then looked angry again. Oops, like this. I looked, and then I went off. My station come up. So I went off, and then he says, "Poof!" in back of me when I went off. And this guy who was with his gang in this work with where the girl worked, they have phoned the restaurant and said we are 70. We can get 70 people, 70. And after that, they phoned up and said they could get 400 people. And I think about that. Could there be so many? But I have just to concentrate about these 8 people who was in the restaurant. First, it was 3 people in the restaurant, and one day I was I guarded her almost. I was sitting there, and just this day when I should go out and I should go out and fix a job. But she says, no, you must be you must be still here. You must be still here. She was still scared for him, and that day they came in 8 person, okay, it was separated, me and my girl. It was boring, and I lived in one place nearby, and it was some talking at, and he was a sick person. He smoked hashish, cannabis, and they said, and he accused me to have to burn up his car. It was this paper clip in the fuse box, and he had bought it that way, and the person before might drive 10 kilometers a day from home to work, but this is driving around all nights, and if this was wrong in the electrical wire, it got too heat and it started to burn his car, and he accused me for that. And I explained it. I met this girl again, and I explained how it is. I phoned this gasoline station and asked them, and let her listen to the same this with this paper clip. What are you using it for? And it's a bad way to just temporarily you can use it if you don't have anything and nothing function in the car. You have to you can use it, or otherwise if it's wrong in the electrical just get overheated, and it could start to burn if you too long. Things like that. And once I said to him, we can talk about that. I can be there in 5 minutes. We can talk about this. I think this is ridiculous. And he said then, yeah, I'm going to have the guy. Every guy he had around him, he was a scared little shithead. And I said to him, do I look stupid or what? But this was in place, and I should move to a nice place nearby, like 10 kilometers from there, maximum. I rent in second hand, and I rented there. Night before I moved, I think about everything has happened with that shithead, and if it was safe to leave this place to move, because I had got this threat that they should give persons 20,000 crowns. It's like $2,000 or 2,000 euro to the person who find my address, and because I lived with some person there, I was scared I thought if they found this, it was not good if I wasn't there. But I think I went through that in my mind. I think this was a long time since this was some month or something. This was connection, and I think it's cool. It's cool. I can go move, and the same night before. That night before I moved, it was a call. It was never a call over there. I had not leaving my number over there, and the other person was older, so it was in daytime. So it was a late call there, and it was a man. Wrong number. I asked hello. I didn't say my name or something. Just hello, and it was this. Vad heter det nu? Fasen. This dialect in a foreign language. His broken Swedish. It was, and I recognize it like I know a lot of people know Latin American. I know Greece. I know Turkish. I know a lot of person, and this was another. It was like this threatening guys around him. That guy's dialect in this and I think shit. I was scared, a bit scared. I think shit, but this couldn't be. But this is it's not. What is this? And the telephone rang again. Didn't answer. But there and then I moved the day after, and I was very, very, very disturbed about this before I moved them, and went up to a restaurant I haven't been for 6 months, and drank a beer, and go home. And the next day I went up again and drank a beer again, and then there is a guy there who says he knows this guy and the gang, that gang. And he came fram to me, and he looked like from that region, not Turkish, not Greece, not Spanish, not Latin American. His peers I could recognize. I recognize from different parts of the world. Even I don't think in that way, but I recognize them. And I think this was not good. He went out several times and come in, went out and come in. I think it was ringing. This was 1997, so it could be better connection outside with a telephone and so. But he says we can meet here the day after and we can talk about this, solve the problem. And I gave him my address. This was nice because then I know they have my new address, not my old address. So they go at me. and I came up day after, and it was nobody there. But when I come home, there was this phone, like young people trying to sound tough in the or then click, they hang on, hang up, and I think I'm going to go up there every day. 8 days, every day, 1 day for every guy who was in my girlfriend's shop, to ensure that this is not going to be something further. This is stop here. This have to stop here, and just this threat. Raping and killing somebody, I think this is mental institution person, and they are not in the streets. I think in Sweden, but you know, look now in Sweden is total disaster, total disaster. Drugs in schools and like that, and they don't understand what the most important thing is to remove, to build the country. Now we have new government, so I hope they realize and think slow about what is best for to solve the problem. But they are a little bit hasty in some areas, so you understand you have to say no. This guy was better. The other government was like they don't have the brain. They have just the will to stay in power, not the brain to do it. But anyhow, I had this. I went up alone, but in the first I called friends, because I think they're going to come up every guy from the place there, and he has shown he was very scared. When I say we can talk about this, he's the 10 person, he gathered, he's talked to much people than he should bring to me then with this talk then. So he was no man, if you say so. yeah, I have phoned a couple, but it was just a couple person. I don't know if they understand what this was about. So I said to them, I go there self. This is you don't know. You don't need to go there with me. I go self. So I don't want them to get hurt. Okay, if it was many people, I could have bring them, because this threatening and that they had to get stop of them, and so it was correct to have the whole town with you because of this threatening. But nothing happened there. I saw things like it was like people there from police, also from the cops. I think shit they can have listening on the telephone on this, and because one guy a couple of guys in this gang, there were some drug dealers also, so they could have via phone surveillance on them then, and have heard about this. So but now I think it comes people around me, and some of them look like Yankees, and some of them look like not cops. One looked like a cop, and I in one night here, and I tried him out. I asked him who should stop me if I do and this and that, and he said yes, I should. I think that could be a cop. And yeah, it was lots of new people around me, and some of them talked about Palme. Some of them started to talk about Palme, Olof Palme, the Prime Minister, who was murdered in 1986, and I didn't think about more. This was just a subject to talk about, but several after this have talked about Palme, brand new people I'd never seen before, and it started to happen things here with the new neighbor. He was at first I went to a restaurant and to end this thing then, and look if there was some problem if I go there too, and that was then I realized that was wiretap on my telephone. They listened to my telephone, and because come in 2 person in there, and it was a narrow, one of them go narrow me. Well, he couldn't. It was a corridor and it was narrow, and he wouldn't touch me at the slightest, because he went on his side. If he didn't go so, when he should pass me, he went so instead, and into the toilet then. And the other guy, his companion, which entered at the same time, he come down, sit here. I was in the bar, and this was in the saloon, you should say. And I sat down there, and we started to talk. He's asking what I did and what is happening and like that, and I going to prison now, I think, because I had self-defense on my. So I said, oh yeah, they have threatened me in the wrong way and shit that good, so I have to take this. And I think it's calm, it's cool. and he started to buy drinks, and I looked at the waitress, a new waitress, and she looked such happy but tense anyhow. So I don't know if she was just there for the night. It was totally empty also in this pub, but it could be that day in the month also. So and we talked there, and he started to ask me, "Do you want to be a cop?" He says. I think, no, I can't be there. So I can't be there. I can't be there. I think this is they look if I'm crazy or something, and after a while he says. He asked us several times. So I come in, more people, and sit down a couple of tables away. Sat down. I think it was 3-4 people, and he asked little higher, the same. Do you want to wake up? So they could hear. I think was this. No, I can't be there. And I went, later on, I should go home, and I called for a cab, and I think they're going to get me outside. But it was normal. I get in the cab, and that guy, he looked tensed at me. So I think that also was and one from these guys then. And to go home, and I think this is crazy. They asked me if I want to be cop. I am in a very big argue here with something, and I have something illegal on me, and it's what they are doing. And later on, I grab a cab. I have his phone number and everything. Still, this is 1997, but I have this phone number and everything. And he also asked me, a cab driver. I don't know if I took it in town or I took it or I ordered from my home. But he says the same thing when I jumped off. Do you want to be a cop? I laughed and said I can't. And I smiled. I said I can't. It went out. And later on, a new neighbor, Per Christian Soreide, asked me if I want to enter a group of Nazi to infiltrate them and leave information on them, deliver information on them to this Per Christian then. And why I mention this, because this is the worst people in this Per Christian Soreide, Lennart Karlsson, and this guy. This is the dirtiest cops you ever have encountered. They are very bad people. So I said I had my own problem then. We had been out drinking, but I was tense about the whole situation. They did something like I thought it was like training, but I didn't know if it was training or it was real. It was attacks or something like that. If people could take their hands in the jacket when it was at the bus stop, look at you like this, and for a minute, and then when the bus come, they took up the ticket, bus ticket, but they do like this and look at you like this. It's like they're going to take something and shoot you or something like that. Several of that thing, and happens then, and my English is very bad. It's a bit, I don't find a word right now. It was 2005 when I studied English, and since then I have not hardly spoken any English since then. So I have to practice a little bit now. but yeah, and there was a nice girl around this also, and which I later saw. It was lookalikes. There was this double, like Putin have several people who look like him, and you never know who's who. But I didn't know that, because in the first they have same lens and the same hair and so on, and I didn't know when I saw this. It was a bone structure I saw it on. I think, what the hell is this? It was totally different, and I didn't say anything. I was confused. What is this? I liked that girl, so it was little bit embarrassed. But I don't sit and stare her out. I sit in. She works as a waitress, so I go down and drink a beer or something, and look out for my problem if there was something coming, and always this interaction with these people who ask if you want to be a cop, and if you want to be a spy or something like that, and yes, I was in this time I had this cold also. Maybe it was very lucky I have it, because otherwise I could have joined this person. I don't sure at all who they are. I saw later on a guy who was, he says, Lennart Karlsson, he says he was Social Democrats. When it was a couple of years ago, he was a high person in the youth club of the Social Democrats. And I thought this was. They don't acted like police, but I realized something was. Was people look like Yankees and such. I didn't know what it was. If it was a secret agent or so, but they didn't. Everything for you went down. I had this cold all the time, and since I was younger, and when I try to build a new life from here, I think the first thing I have to fix this nose throat problem, and because earlier I have avoided contract job that I have to sign. Yes, I'm employed. I go to this work. You can work one day and leave one day if you want. It's not the problem. Like that, a day work, because. But I was even though I had that not contract. I was there every day. I was super ill, cold. I have ammonia every day. I was still there, and but it was this pressure when you have signed it. It was too much, and because of this, in my sinus and even in my bloodstream, I had too high levels of red blood crops, which deliver oxygen. It's like doping, but this is a condition I have, I had low subnormal EPO levels also. So this is something else. I have even positive of this JAK2, but it was not in very high, not in high level, but I was positive in it. They find it. So this is something else, and it could be also this make the blood a little bit thicker, and it could be that in my nostril also, together with that is narrow everywhere, and so on. But I tried there to fix this, and started to at 1997 could be when I started, but I think 1998, because I worked and I don't want to go do same mistakes like before that don't be healthy in your nostrils. Before I get woman again and so on. So I was very eager to get this fixed. So I started to go there, and not much happened. Then I came up to another doctor in 2001 who takes this CT X-ray on me. First he saw on a plain X-ray he saw something. He didn't say what he saw, but he says he take that, and then he says, I want to send you to a neurologics, because your headache, all the headache you had. And I thought about it. I think, okay, you stuff it in your nose if there are neurologics, and you feel when it's this swallow in nostril, and you get tighter and tighter in nose. But okay, but he says, I want to take this CT X-ray before, and when he came with that, the answer came some months later. He ordered it, and it took some time to get it, and you travel there and you X-rayed, and he says it's not strange that you have headache, because almost every sinus was infected, swallow and inflame engaged in this. It was maxillary sinus, both ethmoidal sinus, sphenoidal sinus. This was not påverkade. This was not engaged in this. The frontal sinus, this was not, but everyone else was. And he says it's not strange that you have a headache. Now I see that. And I was in mathematics in school then, and it was very hard when the aching started. It was very hard to study. So I asked for a paper and could leave that because it was I have this borrowing also, study, borrow money. So it was costly, and just go there and burn up the money. It was not good. So I quitted there, and this was 2001. And now, 2002, I study for this again, and I have very well degree, and I now in May start a course for mathematics and language, Swedish then. And so I get up everything, but I'm 56 years now. So it's a little bit, but it could give me a work I comfortable with, and I have this invention I want to try also, and about energy and like that. I know now there are nothing right now. There are nothing, but I have an idea. I want, like a hobby, try it every day. Anyhow, I always have thoughts in. Some have been some thoughts has not worked, but it's thought that I think when I was younger. I think when I have a workshop, I try that. Then I have this idea. I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try that. And this other, they say this doesn't work, but with in my way, I want to see, I want to measure, I want to do that, is see if you can learn it to function anyhow, and yeah, so that's boring that they have occupied me this since then, because everything after 1999, I get a new threat from this Per Christian Solreide, very hard. It's the same way that I had this gang threatening me first in 1997, and I was very shaken about that, because I knew this have connection everywhere and like that, and they make this training with me, but this could be harassment, like this you can use it like harassment, perhaps that but what I know it was the Palmemordet again. Palmemordet, it was started with this. They tried to break me, and but that warned me. First I was with them, and I don't want to expose them, so I did things to help them, but this was not good for me, because I have been this has been a murder attempt at by accidents. I believe it's like that, and or I want to have it at least investigated, because other people have died also. Yeah, but okay, I tried anyway and be the best I could, and nothing worked, because in this he x-rayed, and and when he says to me this, he wondered, I saw he's thinking about what to do, because he was a surgery, so he could surgery also. But I think I had tried this gamma globulin injection, 2 milliliters once every 2 weeks. And so I said that to him. I have 2 milliliters. And I said, oh, that's 2 liters, and you have to have 20 milliliters, and we can try that. And you should go to your family doctor and tell her to describe that, and you can come here and take this a couple of months, so we can see you don't get this anaphylactic shock and that. So I go to my family doctor, and knew I knew, and I was just there for this and that injection in the muscle, and that doctor said no, I don't describe that. And I had this pain, I have this shit. That's okay. I have been at that doctor also and described this, but nobody reacts. So so when I now have been at a real ENT doctor, ear, nose, throat doctor, and he tells me I'm gonna get 20 of these. Try this anyhow. So I filed a complaint against her again immediately, and I get this shots every 3 weeks with the higher dose, and I didn't feel much better. I think this with it rises my temperature in my body until I have low temperature normally. I have like 36.2, 36 point in the morning, and 36.6 in the evening, and I have even had 35.8 in the morning, taken at the hospital. So and this, when I get this injection for a couple of days, it raises my temperature in my body to 37 or slight above 37.2 or something like that, and that makes, I believe, that makes the muscle to operate in the rate, be in the right temperature, because it functioned, because it started to, I could sneeze out on that, it get moving outwards, and it's empty my sinus, and that was the reason why I felt it better, not perfectly, but it was better, and it's always been there, because normally it's stuck, everything was stuck in my sinus, but when I get the regular cold, it was a relief, because it's empty my sinus. And I had this like Sudafed. Sudafed is sinus divers often use that, and so on. It's like a Rinexin, fast different. It's not the same subject in them, but I see that also with the Sudafed like medication. I had that at least once a month, and it's during 10 years, and that's for it's empty my sinus. But this was illegal, and I don't want that anymore. So, because I don't feel good at it. It's like I have this allergic to it. It's like desloratadine, this allergic pills. It open up also, but I get in the body. It's so hard. It's very distressful, and so. But when I was in this argue with this gang, I had this problem. I couldn't. I have to be. I couldn't get that over excitement you get for this Sudafed like substance. So I quit it there, and it's illegal. So Rinexin is still available in the pharmacy, but this is not safe. You can get this a stroke and things of that. So I don't want to have it either. But it's not working that well. Anyhow, with this gamma globulin, I start to felt in my lung or in the bronch that I have starting an ache in my bronch. And after a while, and I didn't want to quit this, but I asked little courses there if they could mention it for this sister who gave me the injection. If I mentioned it for her, I had started getting a little bit. If it was a dangerous reaction, I don't want to get hurt, so I mentioned it for her. And after a while, they said nothing, and I looked now in this about this ache in the lung. It started in another other side also later on, and like different spots, and I have also a slight little low of alpha antitrypsin, AAT. I have little low of that, so it could be that when I take this gamma, it loses the mucus, and I breathe down more in my lungs than and it's too much for when I have low of this AAT. It could be that who starting something else. I have realized that now, because I tried to Google ache in lung with gamma globulin, and it's nothing. So it must be two parts of it, I believe. Now then, it could be. But yeah, I mentioned that I'm starting to get, if it was dangerous, I think they're going to say, oh, we might have to stop, but they didn't say anything. But we take some tests of this immune system, subclasses and that. And one day he come from to me, and I should go take this regular shot. And they confirmed to me, this doctor, in a way, when I was on my way into the sister, and he says, you don't need to take this anymore. And I, okay, but I'm still not good in my sinus and so on. And I said, no, the test reports is good and so on. And I was, he says to me, if this work, we can take it for, we should take this for at least 6 months, and then rest of my life, if it's working. And I have just taken it sometimes here, a few times, and yeah, they have this losing effect in the mucus. So I was, I said, okay. And he was angry that day. He looked like he says he was cocky. He was yeah, in the southern, and he says some people get operation, other not, he says, and now shall not go down to operation. He said. I was shocked about that, but it's something I don't know. I was this headache and that shit. You don't react like you shit. What is this? And and I went into the sister to pay, see if I have to pay this 40 or 60 crowns. It was a new price around there in this time for this sister visitor, and come into her, and I asked, pay this. I'm not gonna go take the shot now. But I have to pay this now. No, she said, you don't have to pay that, but this. And she gave a bill. He was written in machine, and it was 200. It was a doctor appointment bill. And I asked, what is this? Yeah, you have to be in the chair with a doctor for this count for a doctor visit, and you spoke with him 2 minutes there, several minutes, she said, and it was just 1, 2. So, I was shocked. 1 minute, 1.5 minutes at most, and she was also very, very angry, and I think what is this, and this was now 2002, and I think, okay, I'm very grateful because he take this X-ray and that, and something is wrong with this place. Perhaps I saw these social democrats in the test room before. For the test, blood test, and I don't know. There's lots of if it's this LK group and Lennart Karlsson group who still is fucking around, and I think, okay, just go to next doctor. This now I know what it is. I have the X-ray, but next doctor can't miss this. So I think, okay, I went there from there, and she's just, I have this dictaphone on me. So I started it, but I press on play, not rec and play, just play. So it's, and she says, no, we forget about that, and forget about that. You don't need to pay. I phoned even ask if it's right. Can I do this? And then I have to pay. But this in this place where ask is like the where you can file complaints against the hospital and that. They says, no, it's very strange. He says they want to get you there for an injection, and the doctor confirmed to you, and they want full doctor fee for that. It's very strange, he says. And I suspicious it might be this complaint I filed against my family doctor. Who wouldn't prescribe this for me, and then later I see when the doctor prescribes something, some of the expensive go in his clinic. So I think it is that he looked like a very ugly person who threw the cost in another direction, and he could be embarrassed for that, and so on. But I come to the next doctor, and they, when I mentioned this with gamma globulin, they asked, we know him, I know him. Everybody says afterwards. Or several says that's afterward, and we know him, and everybody shook their heads when I talked about this gamma globulin, and I said it worked a bit, but not totally. But they don't understand this, and I hope somebody realized this with mucus. When the temperature, if it's too low, it's like oil in the motor. It's too cold. It's not fluid the right way, so temperature, it could be, let's say, people says, if you have 36 or 37 point something, it's normal degrees, but not for the mucus, I think. Because when I get these gamma globulin shots, at once I get fever, a small fever, little bit cold in that, and it started to go out. And the pressure releases quicker, not totally, but it was better. It's like this, I have using this nostril spray with the cortisone in, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work on me. It's okay, it's wetting, a little bit wet, and then sometimes I can get something out, but not is up here, and here is still stuck. And lots of shit happens after that. They didn't take me seriously, I assume, because I don't know. And I thought about this complaint. Yes, if this complaint then. And now, several years later, I see the family doctor had faxed this complaint directly to the ENT doctor. So he played along, he did his work, and then get the fuck out of here, like that. He take the test and blood work and so on, and yeah. I think is if I have a file complaint against another doctor, it's not his concern, I think. And now they have spread some shit about me, probably, so, or this Elko group and also. So it took in 2009, the first time I get operated. I have very, very bad in both sides, ache, and that I eat like this ibuprofen, full doses, and paracetamol at the same time to get to work. On full doses every day, almost every day, to work. And okay, he operated me on that side, on left side, and because before the x-ray there, I have eating antibiotics, on this side it was totally filled, and this side was better, the right side. But I explained for him, it's coming both sides, this side and this side, and often together. So after that, my right side, my left side, perfect. I had ear ache also, it was gone. Every pressure, everything was nice. And he says it could take a couple of months, a long time before this is totally healed. But I still, my right side was still. At first it was very good. It was like, I think they have cleaned here, and this has even been cleaned on this side, but this side is the only one who should be opened with a hole. And he says he done 2 holes in here in the sinus, and I assume, of course, it was on the left side. And I come up to next doctor here, and after 2 months with this side, and he tried lots of antibiotics on me, and he came up with this pneumonia, CNP TVAR in Sweden. CNP is the name for the bacteria. This chlamydia, CNP. this one is you have genital and you have lung, and yeah, it's like birds have also could have this. I'm not sure if that's correct, but what I have read a little bit there and a little bit there and a little bit there. So I have not followed a doctor's education, but I have read lots of bits, a little bit everywhere about it. It says it could be tvar, and it gave me azithromycin, and it worked very well. I have this lung ache from 2002. I don't remember when I get these shots, but it is starting to be relieved. Or lung is the bronchite, is it bronch in the Bronx, I believe. They say the lung has no receptor for pain, but so it must be the bronch. Yeah, he tried that, and during this months-long antibiotics, it was good. It was okay. I had less pain in my chest, and this was better. Not good, but this was better. It was not this pressure all the time. I was filled, but not this pressure. And I could feel better smells and that things. And he said we can try and make a fan heter nål va? A needle in with I have problem finding the word now. A needle in to ventilate, and I said yes, you can try that. And he had already taken one X-ray and then another X-ray, and in these both X-rays, this is 2010 and 2012. He never mentioned for me that is in these X-rays they says is operated even is surgery even on the right side, 2 holes. And it doesn't say that, and this with the needle disappear. And I had this appointment in lung and infection in KS Solna, in that hospital. And they do take the test, and they saw this tvar CMP. I have had the disease. I have met the disease, and they said it was fine now. And in the lung, they went down with a cable and looked, and they said it was heavy inflammation. But they didn't wrote that in the journal in my file. This says just generally bronchite picture. So the doctor has ordered this vad fan heter det? Jag är så trött. Investigation. Examination of the lung with that fiber optic. He says he doesn't recognize that I prescribed what I heard when he was doing that, and his look on this movie he says they took when they do this bronchoscopy. Bronchoscopy, but he never contacted me again. And I had this. He has sent me to a doctor in In.it several months ahead, and so I ordered for bronchoscopy for bronchite. I ordered from foreign pharmacy and doctor telemedicinsk they call this and order 100 pills of Erumax, and I get them, but I took them as a low dose long term cure, and half 250 milligram in the morning and half in the evening, and half 500 milligram, 250 in the evening and 250 in the morning and the evening. So totally one of these per day, and I started to get better. It was I know this this sort of like macrolide. It functioned good, same as this tetracycline against the ache in here. I have still ache, but this must have been the bone, and loosen up in sinus. So I went for this in first 3 months, and then they said from this ENT, you must come up now. I have said I have to change the appointment time a couple of times, and then now they say you must go up now. And I think, okay, I can go up now, but I felt better, and I gained 10 kilo in 10 kilo, this like 20 pounds more, and then 22 pounds in 3 months. And I'm going to go on this for at least 6 months, I think. And came up. It was even this kidney, liver could be damaged of this cure, so you have to monitor it. So I asked them for a liver test and that, and he looked in and he says, yeah, I explained for him I'm eating now. Cure, and he says, yeah, it looks very nice now in the sinus, and he explained it was bacteria in here, but this was normal often, and you can't take it away. He says, like washing it's like bubble in washing soap. He says when you shake the bottle, it's going to be small air bubble in that. And he says it was the same. It looked like that when he saw it in the mucus then. But I forgot the name there. So I have ordered now then if I could get what the name was for it. So I maybe. Because I have still problem in my nostril and my ear. I operated 2019 then, and this is totally good. This is very good. But from my nostril to the ear trumpet out in my ear is problem. And sometimes it go up in the right side here of to the sphenoidalen is much better now, because all this package was aching before, when this started, everything this started. When this started now, just this started. And this now I have a puncture hole here with a small pipe in it. So it's good now. It's okay now. Before it's wake me up, it's bubbling. It's flop 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 flop. And I told the doctor, I believe this with the pipe should work. And he said, I don't think we can try this and try this and try this. And I tried this and this. And then I was tired also to go to doctor. So I waited for more than a year. And then he says, we can try that, but I don't think it's working, he said. But it worked. Before it woke me up also in the middle of the night. Same as you have knocking on the door or the telephone rang, I woke up. It was crazy sometimes. I still can do it if I have one ear in my, if I have a sound in this and not high, and this started to flop 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 like this. If you hit, it's the same sound, but it was higher when it was not this pipe in. Okay, anyway, I take this long term, and he says that also in the he's looking, if I feel fine now, ache here was gone, and so, and this was still this a bit around here. It was stuff, and so it wasn't really good. But then I went to another doctor. No, I don't. It's lots of terms here with doctors, ENT, and because when I stopped this, it's come back. Obviously, it's come back, yeah. And it's come back to getting worse then. And I asked them, I think it was 2012 or 2014, if I could operate it abroad, and I have this problem with the place, and I had not much money, but I asked if I could keep some money from there and go abroad and operate this, just 30,000. But they said no, and okay, and yeah, I was up 2017. Then I have done this colloidal silver fluid have with the Netican, have watering a lot, several liters, at least a liter, a half or a liter a day with this, and I have even eating this tetracycline, doxycycline, antibiotics, and I get this because I want to ask him. I want to ask the ENT if they could put this needle in, because this come and go on this side, and another doctor, also ENT, he says I have a big adenoid. And I want to check up that also before it gets crazy again. This was some was okay with antibiotics, okay, and this Netican flush, it was okay. And went up there, and the doctor says I can't do anything. She looked at the journal in my file and see that I was with this doctor very well known when I eat this long-term low dose. And she said I can't do anything. Before she investigated me at all, it's just open. And she look up, then she look in with this telescope, a fiber telescope, and they then take an X-ray. And that X-ray, after that, she says, I don't see anything problem with the needle is not needed, and that, and I think it's the same shit that has been since this shit with this on the St. Göran, that and that In.it who threw me out, more or less, and yeah, I waited again. I started in 2018 testing this balloon up, so it's vibrating. It's called KOOS, K-O-O-S, K-O-S balloon. It should be good for when you have this widening spray, nostril spray, which give you this. The problem is if you don't, you get you have to have it till slut. Fan, det är dåligt på engelska. You have to, yeah, it's widening, and you get addicted to it, because if you don't have it, it's closing instead. And it's work a little bit. The 2 second was like that, but I think they have adjusted the machine, because this was a bad thing for some people. It was very vibrating, and it get my lips numbed. But even here, it take away the ache from this area, and I sneeze out a lot of. And the next time I come there, this was not numbed, but it have less effect on this ache over here, because it's always ached here, and when it's going around my eyes and backside and around, it was starting to get more ache here, yeah. And I thought about here to go to abroad then to fix it up, because in Sweden that it didn't happen anything. They say, oh, look fine. And I think I want to have the same operation on the right side as I have on the left side. So I contacted some clinics in Poland and in Estland and in Spain and in Finland, and I get this ask if they ask me what I want to have to done, what I would have for surgery. So I think, okay, I take out the X-ray answers and show them, translate them, and show where the hole are on the left side, and ask them to do the same on the right side. Widening sinus, they call this surgery. Maxillary sinus, and when I take this out, I get this USB memory. I have all the picture on it, and I have all the description of them, what they have done, what they have the answer in written, what they find, and I see 3 of these. It was 4 since 2010. It was 4 X-rays, CT X-rays, and in 3 of them described holes. 2 of them operated hole in my right side, but smaller than this, and the third of them describes the swallowing in the sinus, and nothing about the operation on no side, on any side. And the last one, 2017, they described natural hole or possible post-operated hole, post-surgery hole. So you have 3, and I think, what is this? What is this? The hole on this side should be 12 millimeter, and on this side 7 and 6. And my swallowing in here is 10 millimeter. So I understand this is good. It's always been good, but not this, because this get blocked by this swallowing. The swelling is bigger than the hole are, so I still have the problem here. But I have to check this. I called with this who has you can file complaint and ask what should I do now. They said you can contact the who did the surgery, and I phoned them, and it says we have no more paper here, but you can came on a visit here to another doctor, and he can explain for you what it is. So I asked my new family doctor, for a appointment, a remiss in Swedish, and when I come up 4 months later to this, the doctor there at once started to says, they look fine here, look fine there at once. I had a neck, I had this X-ray for my I have an injury in my hair, so I don't know the name. He had find that, and from this X-ray he saw the lower part of the maxillary sinus, and he says it's no problem there. And I have 2 strange colds, where it was like for 1 month, for the first 2 weeks, and then it was better, and then 2 weeks again. But this was like pouring out from my sinus, also from my nose. It was, it was a splash right out, the last one after these 2. So it was totally emptied, and but I was not there for complain. I was there for ask. My purpose for go there, it was for ask if this what this hole was, and if they are in the right position, just to make them larger, so I can tell the ENT doctor abroad this, and for getting cheapest operate, cheapest amount, less money to pay, and lowest price. So I want to investigate as much as possible. But he says he saw totally all the sinus, and he says you are operated here. They have enlarged normally this ostium is 2 to 4 millimeters, and now it's widening up to 7 millimeters, and this other is a new hole, and this is 6 millimeter. And on this side you have one which are, I think it was 12 millimeter, he says, and it's in this different in this X-ray. Some say over a centimeter, and some says 2 centimeter, also almost 2 centimeters. So I don't know which one is right, or if it's 2 big hole there. So but they just describe one hole at the time, so I don't know. It could be a swelling they don't see properly, but here it was totally empty with mucus, and he says you don't need any more operation and that on that side. I see no problem, and I explained for him I have this 2 cold where it totally ran out. I have never been through this cold before. He says I shouldn't operate you if I asked him if I can get an open time to get there when it's normal stuffed in my nose. And he says I shouldn't do surgery on you if you come here. Liksom. He didn't understand this was a circumstance that I was emptied, and he didn't understand that. I don't know what they think I'm liking to operate or what. I'm most scared people when it's going to be put under the anesthesia, the narcosis. I don't like it. Anyhow, I asked him then what this for, what's the call. He says it's widening the ostium, widening maxillary sinus, and I filed a complaint. Started because this is several years, several doctors not doing anything, and you have the worst of pain in your face, and they don't do anything. Just looking, you're looking fine, and every time, often with this surgery, I had antibiotics before, not surgery. The doctor visit, the doctor's appointment. I have this macrolide or tetracycline antibiotics. So, and it works. It works. So they have to like one doctor, he says, okay, you can do an X-ray. Okay, I do X-ray, and it's totally swollen here, but in the middle it was open. And then I have been eating very strong antibiotics for a week at least, before a couple of days before this X-ray then, and this. And despite that, this is very swelled in there in the sinus. So now you have ears on that. They can ventilate and lots of shit. They don't understand that this is getting worse now when I don't have the antibiotics. And when I came abroad and showed that picture to the doctor there, the ENT, he says, why don't they have make surgery on you in Sweden? Why don't they have opened this in Sweden? They say it looks fine. I say, okay, 1 week, come here and we fix this. And 1 week later, or 10 days it was, I was operated and everything was fine in this side. 2019 then, and the ear, it just 12,000 crowns, Swedish crown, 12,000 crowns. It's like 1,200 euro, $1,200 US dollar. So for this shit, I have been in pain for several years for $1,200. This destroyed my economic, that destroyed my education, destroyed my relationships, it destroyed my fucking life, this shit had. And I have now, after the surgery, I have done a complaint and asked, I have asked by this patientnämnden. It's like this, you can file complaint or let them investigate something. Now they're not that good as it was earlier, but now it's just they take your paper and give it to the doctor, and this is middle hand just. Before, I think that I thought it was that before, but it wasn't. It was they could really investigate, but now it's not good. If you ask me, it's like just like giving paper. And I asked now yesterday, what should I do with this information? Have you suggestions? What should I do with this information? Should I go to file a complaint where? Because they destroyed a lot of my life. This shit, this called healthcare in Sweden. I don't get answer. Maybe today I get the answer of that. But anyhow, that doctor says you're not operated, and this is in the same place, same clinic that where I was first operated 2009 and 2019, where the doctor says you are operated on the left side too, on the right side too. I'm a surgery. I do this every day. I see much better with my fiber optic than you can see on X-ray. And then that chief doctor on that place says no, it's natural hole and they are big and so. And earlier, 2005, I was up in one doctor. And he says it's so small, a natural hole in both sides, small, and this hole, the other doctor, he says they are large and they are bigger. They are bigger. It's 2-3 times bigger than normal. And then the other doctor that in 2005, I can't imagine. He says that was small. He wrote this education for ENT in Sweden. He and his colleague, I've been up at both of them, but they are not so bright. I can tell because they don't listen. They think I don't know what they think. That I want to. I'm going to take that in court soon. But yeah, anyway, that doctor says, phone me up then after this, after that, she says, and this, I believe this was after my surgery in Estland, and she says, have you been operated before in this? No, I have not been operated. But I said to her, you must operate more in Sweden. This has destroyed my life. You must understand that. You must open more. And nothing more there. And why she first says this natural hole, but they are big. I think she didn't look at the paper that their own doctor later, 2009, had produced about me, because he says it's operated on both sides and it's wide open. And she had not looked at that. She has looked at other. So her investigation was okay. She couldn't suspect that I was up. This was at their doctor. I don't think they. She has looked in the old file there, she must have done. No, I shouldn't be operated on right side and so on. But anyhow, this was much better, and then I get this COVID, I think, cough and dry, slept what was wealth, and then slept again for a week and was up and down, up and down, up and down. So I think it was COVID, but you couldn't get the test then, so you can't swear it was it. But I believe it was them, because it could be whatever. But my nose went worse and my ear went worse again, and I was really scared. But I think he had opened it like this. It couldn't be that worsening. It couldn't be that. And several months later, I come to doctor then, and I have this shit for the ache in my ear and so on. The 2.5 months was, I think, I come up to this big hospital, acute emergency, ENT emergency, and the ENT doctor looked up and she saw in the operation place and says, "Wow, you are swallowing there." In here, it's swelled. But I says it's no problem now, because it's don't get stuck in there. It's open, still open, even if it's swallowed in there. But my problem is my ear. I have ache in my ear. So, but she investigated everything with fiber, endoscope. Endoscope, yeah, and later on, I get this. I get the next appointment for this, and some medical treatment, and but it's still bubbling and that shit. So more than a year after, I was up to the same and asked for this again, the pipe, and he says, "I don't believe it gonna help you, but we can try," he said. That was nice, because it's worked. This bubbling is it's gone almost totally. If you don't have sound in air from like this, it's start to bubble here. It's almost a funny story. But yeah, that was the. And now is lots of this doctor who operated me in 2009. He was uninsured, so and I mean, and if I complain that if I have known this with the hole, could tell them it's too small, but nobody have tell me about the hole in the right side. So I filed a complaint to an insurance company, and but because he was uninsured, I come to this. I don't know. It's not a good company, and their two of their insurance doctors says no, he was very very healthy, and that, and they don't read what I prescribe, and what 5 doctors also prescribe, that I have been eating during this X-rays. I am eating antibiotics, and antibiotics helped me. The milder my problem always, and several doctors says it also. And some prescribe is like it's milding inflammation, and that thing is correcting the immune system, but so it not overreact on things. But anyhow, it's worked for me, even if it's not the germ, bacteria, it's working on me. This two types of antibiotics, and this is macrolides and tetracycline, like doxycycline, doxypharm in Swedish. So they take away my chance to get compensated for 10 more years of something I have since I was 20 years. 20 I have since I was 14, 15 I started. But in the same way, I have these high blood levels, and I don't know if together with slim nostrils, slim airways, it could be with this high blood level, work. It could be thick blood, so, and that can swallow up also slemhinnor. So mucous membrane. You can and put them, let them be in open position, in swallow position when it's thicker blood. So it's I don't get they don't have this they don't understand anything. Probably I don't know. Probably this like torture for me, and it's severe assault so many years for me. So when I was younger, it could started really early, this with thick blood, because when I was 14 it was okay. The level was 155 in this red blood crabs, and but after 14, 15, 16, I have no blood work. It was, what I have found now is 1997 first time, and then there is 170, I don't know, 74 or something like that. Above, it's above, and during this first doctor is sank right under the top, and yeah, so I don't know. I have no file complaint that also, because this with the different value, and always when this, there have been an extra test 3 times at least. When this extra test has been this with EPO, EPO, they have been normalized, this every example, and this EPO have also was good level. You take this EPO to look if that's the cause. If that's the cause, the red blood cells is too many. You look if this is overactive, or if it's subnormal, could be an under disease. And later on, now when I go to another county and took the blood test there, is under. Is sub level, and I get positive of this JAK2, so I filed a complaint there. What's the problem here? Because they have sent it's in the paper when you Google it. They have problem in some hospital to measure low, EPO low, and that's a big problem, because if you have if you look of this polycythemia vera, you don't find it. If the only extra test you have is this EPO, and they can't measure low value, it's not. What's the meaning to have it then? Or just take that, and it was the same with this JAK2, JAK2, in Stockholm. They could be, they say, but I go out to the new count, it was positive, low but positive. So I have to complain all about this. And then I have this LK-gruppen, LK-gruppen, who have chasing me for since 1997, and so on. And I've seen them. I've seen traces of them in this doctor's office and like that. Hints about them, and they have this. They're using this East Germany DDR technique. Is called Serzesung. There's lots of different technique in one, and it's like gaslighting and so on. No touch torture, but they're threatening you around and that. And I've seen things happen that might be explained of them in this places. So I think they can disguise as a cleaning guy who in the laboratory and destroy my example or something, and they have people in everywhere. They have people in post office. They have police people everywhere. Okay, if I go to a new place, if I starting to go to a new place, they get a person in there, and he destroys before me, and it's easy because they don't investigate them. This is like the communists. It's like Soviet people. It's like they made my life as in a dictator, and I'm very tired of it. So I work very hard now. I'm going to work all the way with this healthcare to get money and to get someone to investigate this LK-gruppen. But it's like this in the I see doctors now lying. They're lying and try to worsen it for me, and I have noticed why this person, why don't they give me for example antibiotics and shit, but he has writing me bad in me in the journal, this paper, my file, and says I do this and I do that and so on, and I have come up with this disease CMP2, and but it was he who he asked me, what do you think this is? And I said chlamydia, inte chlamydia. There was perhaps one lung disease, so went up in the air also, in the upper airways also. I come up with that, and he says, no, I think it's TWAR, CPN, chlamydia pneumatic, chlamydia pneumatic lung, chlamydia in lung, and this go up in nostril and sinus and ear and that and so on, and this could be for many years in you. And he says, go home and read about that, and I go home and read about that. I thought this was just something they give somebody. I don't care if they take that, and something ridiculous. And but I go home and Google it up, and it was exactly what I had. And after that, he gave me antibiotics, several. Before he gave me also antibiotics, but and he says one of them which not worked, he says that worked very well in him, and the other one he doesn't. He writes wrong also about this. I got some blistered on my hand for this moxifloxacin, Avelox, and he said you can quit that. But he says it was another. It was a penicillin sort, and I think he was very scared because in Sweden they are very harsh to give harsh. Well, it's strange to get hard to get antibiotics for people. So he looked when he sent me to the other doctors for control the lung and infection. He looked a little bit worried, and he says, "You don't have to tell them about this TWAR, because let them find it out by themselves. There could be something else also." And I say, "Okay, yes. But when I come to the other hospital, they already know." And I have taken this blood test, and they showed I have had this TWAR CPN, I feel this is I'm gonna talk about Lennart Karlsson gruppen more, but in the next episode of this, I take it's much mixed up here, and it's easy to take this and then put this that was combined them. That was my thoughts about what's happening, not happening in a smaller. I'm sorry, my English is I don't find words. I find nothing. I have to read more in English now. As I said, it was if I have said it in this tape, it was 2005. I went to school for English, and that is 18 years since I spoke in English almost. So it's long time since. So I have to exercise a little more. I should read some book here in English, starting with so get it more words in my head. But yes, this is also a try. This is a rehearsal for me. I'm rehearsal this. So yeah, about this with the last with this healthcare here. I have done these complaints and waiting for compensation, and I hope they're gonna fix this. I'm 56 years. I have had this shit since I was 15, like that. And then when I was elder and elder, we become older and older. It was worsening. So but I didn't think in this way. I think everybody's cold. You have this painkillers in over the counter in pharmacies and that. It's nothing chronic like that. He was young and strong, and the problem was with this shit. It was a big problem also. It was at sleep every 3 days. Okay, I had one good night in 2 or 3 days with sleep. So it was very tough, because I had this ache and then this blood disease also destroy your sleep, and your cold sweats and that. That I have many years, this cold sweat, and since I was younger also. I have this, but I didn't think. I looked in the books in the healthcare. I have ache and that. Okay, also, and then I heard if you look in a doctor's book, you have everything. So what should I look for? Okay, headache. Okay, several things have headache. Sweat, yes, sweat, and so on. And I went up. I didn't tell people around me about it. Because I think it's ridiculous. It's just cold and little heat, and you have this over-the-counter painkillers and that. People eat it. Everybody have this ache. But when I was elder, I realized this is not normal at all. They have to open it, and they don't open it, and I have been suffering for this shit very long time. So, and I think that's Elko-gruppen. They want me to be a bad person. I have been through a murder attempt and things like that, and this is people who talked about the Palme murder. I'm gonna go out more in this. I should listen to this and see if I can live with it. Or I have to do it again. But I explained lots of this now in this. So I probably published this and let you laugh. It could be a laugh now in Eastern laugh. I could call that English. No, I don't. This is very bad, and this is also medical words. I don't have a name for it. So, like bronchoscopy and mucous membrane. Should we see how to say it?
Mucous membrane.
Mucous membrane. Yeah. Okay. The other one with the cups here, this is easier. It's easier for me. It's normal language. Or cups. This is the secret agents and where they came from. That is nice to know now when the word is like it is. Over and out.